want to make this line squared out long enough that we have plenty of room. So that's why I was doing those initial measurements. I don't want to run out of room. So I said I needed, so that should be plenty. And then I'm going to draw in my center back. So I'm just going to use the dots for my center back. So, and I want to make sure that it's tall enough, right, to fit the entire torso. So I'm going to go way up just to make sure. So this is going to be the hip for the back. And now I want to square off my waist too. So I'm going to go ahead and square the waist out, because the waist on the front needs to match the waist on the back. They both have to connect at the side seam, right? Okay, and this is going to be my center back. So now I can put this aside, and I'm going to take my back sloper. So you guys are going to end up with this, right? Because you draped it. But I want you to make it, I'm going to have you do a little pivot and create a one dart back, because I don't want you to have the shoulder dart. So for your midterm, you guys are going to be drafting a princess line, and if you have that shoulder dart, it's going to get in the way. So if you're doing a shoulder princess line, it works perfectly. But what if you want to do an armhole princess line, or you want to do a princess line coming out of the center back? Then you've got that dart and you have to move it. So I just want everyone to go ahead and pivot that little dart into this dart and make yourself a one dart sloper. You don't have to put it in oak tag, you can just put it in paper, but that's what I'm going to use for my demo to show you guys. So you can also make your torso sloper with the dart. That's what this one is, my sample here. You can have both, then you have options. So this one has the shoulder dart. Today I'm going to demo it without the shoulder dart. So it's just nice to have options depending on what you're designing to save you steps and save you time. Does that all make sense? I don't want you guys to all get confused. Does everyone understand? You sure? Because you're going to look at this and you're going to see the shoulder dart. But on the one we're doing today, we're not doing it. And that's because I want to allow you guys more freedom in your midterm when you're designing your style line. And then you don't have to worry about where the dart is, okay? On the back. And next week, I'm going to show you guys how to deal with this dart. Because some of you, I'm going to show you how to get rid of this dart when you make your midterm designs. You can leave it if you want, but if you want to get rid of it, you can. Okay, torso sloper. So after I square across the hip and the waist and draw in center back, then we're gonna lay down our sloper, the back one dart sloper, and I'm matching up my waist on this line, right, the balance line, and I'm gonna trace it just like we did, similar with the front. Trace. And I don't need to trace those darts at the waist or none of that, but I do need to trace my vanishing point here, and I'm gonna go ahead and trace this just for the heck of it, okay? I don't need anything else, that's it. All right, so now we know this is 9 1/4 on mine. So same thing that we did in the front, we're gonna add a 1/2 inch and measure that out. So 9 1/4 plus a 1/2 inch, and that'll be my hip. And I'm going to square that up and bring it back 3/4, just like we did in the front. 3/4. And then use the hip curve and draw in your new hip. Okay? So that's my hip. I can go ahead and true up this side seam. So I'm gonna match my underarm to my new waist, and I'm just gonna draw a straight line. And then this we wanna soften. So just like we softened it in the front, I'm gonna soften it up to your liking. You're the designer, you're the pattern maker, however you wanna make that softness be there for you, okay? So then just like in the front, we're gonna measure from center back in 3 inches, 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna start working on our darts. So I'm actually not gonna need these. So if you have the 12 or the 14, you can go ahead and measure center back to princess line. Usually 3 inches is like the standard. I know Shoe Hung's was 3 1/4 on her front. So, you know, if you want to go ahead and measure, it's 3 on this one. This is a 12. So it's usually 3. What is it on this? This is a 6. And it's a little less, slightly less than 3, but 3 is like the average. So if you want to measure yours, you could either just do it's 3, that's the standard and that's fine, or you can measure your dress form if you want. It's up to you. If you have a bigger size, it might be something different. So I'm gonna just go with 3, mine's a size 8. And that's what I already did. So now I need to measure my dart, right? And we have to divide it in 2 and then start measuring out our dart. So just like we did here, same process with 1.5 inches in the center. So my dart is 2 1/2. So 1 1/4. So I'm gonna measure 1 1/4, and then I'm gonna measure 1.5 inches. And then 1 1/4. So all I'm doing is splitting that dart in half, and the first dart starts on the princess line, and then there's 1.5 inches in between them, and then the second dart is 1.5 inches away. I'm just tightening those up, okay? All right. So now I need to find out where my vanishing points are. So on the front, below the waist, we went down 4 inches. On the back, we're gonna go down 5 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start with my 5 inches, and I wanna take the center of the dart. From the center of the dart. And I'm gonna measure down 5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And draw in my dart legs. And same thing for the other side. They're both going to be 5. On the front, they were 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then to do the vanishing point above the waist, we're going to drop 1.5 inches down this, from the armhole intersection, we're going to drop down 1.5 inches. And we're going to square that across, and that's going to be the height of the first dart vanishing point. Okay. I'm just going to put a light line. Okay. And I'm going to continue the line in the center of the dart up to that point and draw in my legs. And that's the vanishing point for the first dart. Okay? And then remember, we're labeling this back torso sloper, size 8. There's no cut, there's no grain line, these are slopers. Okay, so now I need to find the top of this vanishing point, and it's another, I think it's another inch. Yeah, it's an inch. Just like on this one, we came down an inch and did the first, and then we went down another inch and did the second vanishing point. It's the same thing on the back. So this is 1.5 inches from the armhole, and now we're gonna go down another inch for the second dart. So I'm just gonna measure down 1 inch. And get a light line across and draw this up. Okay. And draw in my dart legs. So it's pretty easy. And that's it. So remember, this is 5 inches, and this is 3 inches. This is to the princess line here, and this is 1.5 inches. I'm gonna put 1.5. 1.5 inches. Okay. This is the hip measurement plus 1/2. So whatever, mine was 9.5 plus 1/2. And then here you come back in 3/4. Okay? So once you're done drafting it, then you'll lay another piece of white paper on top and trace it. And then you don't need to cut out the paper, just cut it like this, cut it out like that. And then take that paper and lay it on the manila, staple it, and then cut it out so that it ends up looking like this. That'll give you the most accurate. And if you want to trace everything to the back, because I recommended to many of you to sew a test muslin. So if you want to sew a test muslin, you're going to need these guys on the back when you trace all the darts and everything to sew it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So not too bad. And then really important. We want to check it. So when it's on the paper like this, you want to do all the measurements. So you're going to want to measure this. So this is 3, this is 1.5, and then you're going to measure this. And on mine, it's 2 1/8. And you're going to add all those up. So 3, 4.5. You're going to do the math. 2 1/8. So what does that equal? And so then you take that amount and you figure out what this is over here. So 3 1/2 inches. What is this? This is 3 5/8. So then you're gonna add up the front. So you're gonna get the back number and you're gonna get the front number. So 1.5 plus 3 plus 3 5/8. And you're gonna get that number. And then you're gonna add that number, the front. Well, first you'll double. So then you're gonna times this by 2, and that equals the entire front. And then you're gonna times this by 2, and that equals the entire back. Then you can measure the waist, right? You wanna measure the waist to find out what it is. It's 28.5. So when you add the front and the back together, it should be 28.5. But you have to check it. And then if it's off a little bit, you need to fix it. So it might be off 1/2 or 1/4 or whatever. So then you're gonna like let the waist out a little bit or bring it in a little, whatever you need to do. That's normal. That's fine. I need to drink something. Same with the hip. You can measure the hip. The waist is the most important. The hip's not gonna be. You can add that up and double it, 9.5, so that's 19. And this is 9 3/4, so that's 19.5. So that's 38.5. So my hip on my dress form better be 38.5. And if it's not, you'll have to make some adjustments so that this matches that, okay? Any questions? All right. That's